You're now watching The Wash Daily. Today in news, one of the problems the legal cannabis industry is having is lack of access to banking. Los Angeles has now teamed up with a group called Dama Financial Services. What they're going to do is processing the payments as a third party between the cannabis companies and the banks. It's going to allow the dispensaries to receive cash and turn that cash revenue into the bank safely by a third party. It's also going to allow people who go into the dispensaries to use credit cards and debit cards, as well as a number of other financial services. The problem of banks not being able to work with dispensaries is a big one, and many municipalities are looking at workarounds for this problem. The problem is tied to the federal government's point of view that cannabis is a Schedule I narcotic that has no medicinal use and isn't safe. Also in news, the UK is looking at some medications for infants suffering from NHIE, which is hypoxic-ischemic encephalopathy. This is a condition that is associated with babies who sometimes develop cerebral palsy, mental retardation. It can manifest in a few different ways. A lot of times seizures. A lot of times these people are babies. This is the first time they're looking at cannabis-related treatment for babies who have NIE. And there's a big group. Some of them are receiving a placebo. Some of them are going to be receiving actual cannabis. The report showed a couple parents who were actually approached by the hospital and they said, we're looking to study cannabis drugs for this particular diagnosis. The parents agreed to participate, and they can choose whether or not the child will receive the cannabis treatment or the placebo. Well, all those weed college people are going to be back. You know, people have been smoking cannabis in colleges for a long time, but now it turns out they may be doing it for credit. A study showed that 60% of colleges are now offering some form of cannabis course in their program, and it looks like another third of them are looking to add it. Most people are hopeful to what the future holds regarding the cannabis industry. Everything from how to operate a dispensary to how to grow cannabis, how to turn cannabis into useful products. You know, hemp is a wildly underused source of material. Right now, the Canadian market are having a hard time getting anything for their hemp. And part of the problem is people are still buying plastic plates and plastic stuff. And if everybody refused to buy anything made of plastic anymore and demanded hemp, that wouldn't be the case. And that eventually will happen. Unfortunately, the people who are so-called environmentalists hardly ever talk about hemp. All they talk about is stopping carbon dioxide. Well, why don't we grow some hemp plants, because they'll eat the carbon dioxide. Hopefully cannabis and common sense will once again have the rightful place in the university system. Well, cannabis is a very important resource, and it's very good that the cannabis is being studied at college level. There's a lot of great medical research coming out of it, but there's also going to be a lot of industrial benefits coming out of cannabis as well. Hempcrete is hemp for food, hemp for clothing. There's so many things about hemp that's amazing. It's high time that people start spending more time learning about cannabis. Thanks for watching The Wash Daily.